Paleo quick tip of the day. Welcome to Paleo quick tip of the day: how to live an ancestral life. Always a big question. All of us here on this forum are aspiring or existing Paleo people, or at least we should be. We want to get in touch with nature and live our lives in harmony with the natural world of health and wellness, eating real foods that are healthy and nutritious, and eliminating fake food-like substances pushed upon us by the mainstream, like grains, sugars, processed foods, and other sugary crap. That is all a given. We also want to spend time daily in a natural setting, sleep in a totally dark and relatively noise-free setting, like with crickets chirping and only the moon and stars faintly visible overhead. And we want to vigorously yet naturally exercise on a daily basis, as depicted in my ebook, Perfectly Paleo Exercise. Let's get a ring for that. We want relatively stress-free jobs and a community of like-minded folks that we enjoy seeing often around the streets and area in the forest and fields in which we live, hopefully. Even to have people who look at the spiritual side of life is very important to us, since all of life is seamless, really, and everything should mesh if we hope to raise our family successfully and to bond and mingle with our neighbors and other tribespeople about us in harmony. And so what exactly am I saying here? How should we live, really? That is the bottom line. And where should we live? I think that is the real crux of the matter, the where. Europe nowadays is failing in a huge way as they let in more and more and more migrants from what really are hostile tribes into their civilized, homogenous countries. Western Europeans have lost religion largely, and so have no unifying principles anymore. Nothing, at least, that they would die for. Sweden, Britain, France, and other Western socialized democracies have no other rallying cry overall nowadays than to just be nice. And that is a recipe for disaster. So, if you're in those countries under current really bad, lackluster leadership, as in Europe, overall, I would say to protest vigorously. In fact, with socialist liberal Trudeau in power in Canada, I'm afraid you are now in the same boat. Protest. Your country's at stake. To live an ancestral paleo type of life requires that you live amongst people in a tribe that are similar to you in values, lifestyle, and above all, this will be controversial, but it's nevertheless 100% true, similar in IQ. I'm sure I lost half of my listeners there. I heard them shut off, but I stand by it. We are meant to live amongst those like us. Anything else is madness and delusion. So, if you don't already, plan to move to a homogeneous tribal community where your neighbors are of your own race, especially if you have children. They will need schooling, and that should be amongst others of their own kind and intelligence. This is crucial not only for them and you, but for the continuance of Western civilization, which is the light of the world. If you are Asian or Black, I also recommend that you live in the most Western civilized area you can find, really. If you are intelligent enough to recognize it, Your best bet is to live in an area where most people have a high IQ. Just like you want the best food, nutrition, and exercise and lifestyle, you want the highest IQ overall. Even if you are not as smart as those around you, you benefit by being in the proximity of those who produce and just plain create a complex Western type of civilization. This is not even debatable. Smart societies create wonderful, productive places with very low crime and wonderful living conditions. Other societies do not. I would recommend a book called Hive Mind that goes into depth in this. So, in the U.S., I would recommend red states, states that voted in Trump. Lower taxes, less government intrusion, and above all, traditional Western civilization is still prioritized, at least for now. Get in the most rural area you can, where you can still get a job. Jobs are very important. Just make sure yours is real, not a fake, managerial, affirmative action type of job. That way lies delusions of grandeur. Most managerial jobs, believe it or not, the vast majority, are completely unnecessary. And I'm sorry, but most Western medical jobs now fall into that category. Get a real job where you accomplish real physical things, preferably. Thinking jobs count, but they are even better when done off the clock as a labor of love. Like music is best done as a hobby, and visual art as well. Spend most of your free time with your family. Outside, in nature, with campfires and working your land. Garden and get a good tractor. I just spent a couple hours on mine. A small, compact diesel tractor is arguably the most paleo implement of all time, since with it you can mow, till, rake, snowplow, and otherwise work your land as if you had a team of draft horses, only better. Forget the zero-turn mowers. That's a modern one-trick pony fad. Get a tractor. And as you use the amazing engine on your tractor, just remember that Rudolph Diesel is a fellow tribesman of Western civilization. His discovery has enhanced your own tribe, and so you should embrace it with pride.
Paleo J-A-Y.